Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, who would win between Robert Pattinson Batman and Ben Affleck Batman? I'm going to use my 1/6 scale figures to point the camera at while we talk about this. I'm going to see how it goes with this video. If it gets some views, if it gets some interaction from the folks out there, then I can carry on with Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, and not just Batman, but Spider-Man and Jokers. Jokers would be interesting. But we'll see how it goes. Hit the like button on this one, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at DeanKnight333. Let's see who would come out on top if these two faced off against each other. Alright, so at the beginning of the Batman movie, he says 2 years of nights. I'm assuming he's been Batman for 2 years when we join him in the movie. Whereas this Ben Affleck Batman from Dawn of Justice, he had been Batman for a lot longer. So a lot more experience, a lot more pain. He lost Robin, and Lord knows what else. Ben Affleck never really got a fair stab at being Batman. It was all taken away by the internet, and then the idiots in charge listening to the internet and making bad decisions. And it was a shame, because he turned out to be a fantastic Batman, one of the very best. And I understand if people think he is the best, because he certainly looks the part. He really does. Yeah, you got to factor that in. The one on the right had been Batman for a lot longer than the one on the left. Who's got more protection in their armor? I think that would have to go to possibly... See, I'm not an expert on what this is. You know, what it's meant to be in the movie. You know, I think that the bat symbol on his chest would be thicker and possibly like a bulletproof section. I mean, that makes sense. He's covering his heart. So I'm going to assume that the bat symbol is bulletproof. The rest of the suit, I mean, he got stabbed in the warehouse scene. So I think he is more vulnerable, but he was taking bullets to the cowl and they were deflecting the bullets. So the cowl was bulletproof, gauntlets are bulletproof, boots are probably pretty sturdy too. But the main bulk of his body, I think, is quite vulnerable. Whereas Robert Pattinson, definitely more protection going on everywhere. There's moments in the suit that break up and allow for a little bit of stab action in the elbow area there, but not really anywhere else. Maybe the legs, yeah, the groin area, I don't know. But I'd say Robert Pattinson Batman definitely has more protection. Strength and general physicality, I'm gonna have to give that to Ben Affleck Batman. I mean, he looks like he would absolutely pummel you. Now, we know that the suit, the muscles are kind of exaggerated on the suit. He's filling it out, definitely, but it's, you know, that's not his muscles you're seeing there. They're kind of built into the suit that he's wearing. But still, he is just devastating. That warehouse scene is amazing. It always will be. And we'd never really seen Batman go at it like that. Just not holding back. It was brutal. Absolutely brutal. He was a beast. Something to be feared, for sure. And that pounding that first guy takes at the beginning of the Batman movie, yep, that's a badass little beating he gives him right there, and it's a hell of an intro. I just don't buy Robert Battison in the suit doing that the way I can with Christian Bale or Ben Affleck. I mean, you could say the same thing for Michael Keaton. You know, not the most hench, intimidating chap in real life, but ended up being one of the best Batmans ever. So you just got to suspend your disbelief. But for this video, I got to factor all that stuff in, and I just don't think physically this Batman can compete with this one here. Well, he's the world's greatest detective. Do I get that sense from this Batman in all the times I've seen him in movies? Not really. Yes, he does his usual Batman stuff at his back computer and figures out some things, but not to the level that we got with the Batman here. This Batman was really on the case, and after 2 years of being Batman, you can only imagine how much better he'll get. And I hope they lean into all that in the sequel. But as far as detective skills go, that's going straight to the Batman here. And when it comes to friends, backup, you can't really mess with Ben Affleck Batman. He's got some pretty significant friends there to help him out in a pinch. Superman, yeah, I hear he's quite the handful. Wonder Woman, same for her. So, friends, I'm going to give it to Ben. He's got the good backup right there. Plan B. Friends and backup for Robert Pattinson Batman at this stage, not so much. I mean, he has Commissioner Gordon and he has Catwoman, but that Catwoman, I just don't buy her kicking the crap out of people the way she does in the film. She's tiny. I think Rebecca Ferguson would have been an amazing Catwoman. A little bit older and a bit wiser, sure, but she would have been amazing. The door's closing on that one. You know, someone needs to cast her as Catwoman, because she would be amazing. Imagine her with the short dark hair. You know, we know that physically she can handle, you know, all the stunts and stuff from the Mission Impossible movies. But think about that for a minute. Rebecca Ferguson as Catwoman, Selena Kyle, even just as a standalone movie, like a really dark, violent Catwoman film, and where she's all pissed off, and that would make sense because she's older and she's been through more. Now, when it comes to the tech, I did a previous take just now that I deleted because I gave it straight to Ben Affleck here because he's got the vehicles, he's got the Batcave, he's got all his gadgets, he's been Batman for a long time, and he's got infinite wealth pretty much, so he's all set. But when I think about some of the tech, even after just 2 years that this Batman had, like with the eye lenses that he would wear, where he would record everything that he sees so he can watch it back. I mean, how handy is that for detective work and just general, you know, surveillance and figuring things out? That is a really cool feature to have. And his Bat computer was, you know, still in its early stages. The whole Batcave, it wasn't really even a Batcave, was it? It was like an old abandoned train station or something. Just remember him riding through the tunnels on the bike. So he doesn't, well, his car is amazing. That car is badass. Didn't see any flying vehicles. He does have his motorcycle. Well, I don't know. Tech, Bat tech, all of it. Who comes out on top here? I'm kind of might have to leave that one up to you folks. Genuinely, I mean, I can't really decide right now. I mean, I suppose you've got to give it to Ben Affleck. He's got more of it, and I suppose over the course of all the different films we did see quite a lot. I suppose he'd have the edge on the right. But yeah, let me know what you think. Which one of them has the best Alfred? I'm going to give that to Ben Affleck. Jeremy Irons, well, he was a great Alfred, and he seemed very dependable, and they got along pretty well. Not so much over here, these two, you know, Andy Serkis. Yeah, he's good. He's alright. Didn't stand out to me as Alfred, to be honest. I could very easily, if they replaced him in the sequel, which they probably wouldn't do, but if they did, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't know. I'd have to go with Jeremy Irons. I think he was the better Alfred, as far as, you know, because it's part and parcel of the whole Batman thing. You know, they all have their Alfred. So I'm going to go with Ben Affleck's Alfred. So, my conclusion, folks, is that the Ben Affleck Batman would win if these two Batmans were some kind of in a situation with some kind of multiverse thing, and they ended up having to go up against each other, fight to the death. I think Ben Affleck Batman would win. So let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know what matchup you'd like to see next. Maybe Christian Bale versus Michael Keaton, or Christian Bale versus Robert Pattinson, but specify which Christian Bale, Batman Begins or the other two, Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, because I think of them very differently. In Batman Begins he was very driven to do what he was doing, and then in the Dark Knight he didn't want to do it anymore. And same for the Dark Knight Rises, he came back but he kind of had a suicide death wish thing going on. Batman Begins he really wanted to be Batman, and yeah, so there's a distinction between them for me. Or maybe you want to see Andrew Garfield Spider-Man versus Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, who'd win that? Or let me know. We've got all the Jokers, Heath Ledger, Mark Hamill, Joaquin Phoenix, comic book Joker, all kinds of stuff. But if this video does well, I'll do more. If it doesn't, then it's just a one-off. But I am quite curious about the whole Christian Bale Batman versus someone else thing. You can do Predators as well. Got Predators. Horror figures, Freddy, Jason, Myers, Pennywise, all that stuff. It's all on the channel. If you're new, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button on this one. Let me know what you think. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye.